I will never forget the moment I saw that bright red bikini fall into her suitcase. She did not even try to hide it. It was like she wanted me to see. Her hair was still damp from the shower, and she had that same smug look on her face, the one that always meant trouble. I had already told her what I thought. Told her it was insane, reckless, flat-out disrespectful to go on a trip with her ex-fiancé. But Brooke? Brooke did not care. She never really did. It's just Cabo, she said, casually tossing in a bottle of tanning oil. It's not like we're sharing a room. Yeah? Then why did I see 2 champagne flutes and 1 reservation in her inbox? Why had she suddenly started waxing again? Why the upside-down phone every time I walked into the room? Why all the early morning yoga sessions and sudden obsession with her appearance? My name is Cole. I am 41. I restore motorcycles and fix up classic cars. Grease under my nails, dirt on my boots, that kind of life. Honest work. Simple. I do not lie. I do not cheat. And I sure as hell do not play games. I married Brooke because she had this spark. Wild, beautiful, unpredictable. But I never realized that spark came with a fuse. I met Chase once. Of course, his name was Chase. Wore boat shoes, linen shirts, and had teeth so white they looked fake. A finance guy. One of those smug types who thought every room belonged to him. Brooke said they had reconnected at a wedding. Claimed they just talked. The second she said it, I knew. You know that voice inside? The one that whispers when something is wrong? Mine was yelling. I tried to stay calm. That night, she crawled into bed next to me like everything was normal, her perfume heavy in the air. She kissed my shoulder, dragged her hand across my chest like nothing was wrong, like she was not planning a romantic escape with another man. I stared at the ceiling in silence. You're quiet, she said, almost sweet. You're loud enough for both of us, I replied. She never got it. She never really heard me. 3 days before the trip, I did something I am not proud of. When she left to get her nails done, French tips, of course, I opened her laptop. There it was. A whole email thread. Not even hidden. Titled, Work Retreat. But I knew that resort name. I saw the suite booking, the champagne welcome package, a sunset boat rental, and the worst part? A message from Chase. I still remember how you tasted under the moonlight. Round 2 can't come fast enough. I stared at that line for a long time. I did not cry. I did not scream. I just felt empty, like someone reached in and ripped out everything that used to be there. I closed the laptop, walked into the garage, cracked open a beer, and started welding. Because when I hurt, I build. And I had one last build in mind. That night at dinner, she wore lipstick like nothing had changed and laughed at her own stories like a villain in a movie. She talked about packing sunscreen and bringing modest swimwear. I smiled. I nodded. I even offered to drive her to the airport. She thought I was being supportive. What I was really doing was setting the last piece in place. Brooke forgot something about the man she married. I designed custom builds for a living, machines, systems, solutions. And I had one for her. The moment she turned around at the airport and blew me that fake kiss, the game started. At exactly 3:47 a.m. that night, my phone buzzed. Message from my old buddy. Nate, they're in. Chase even tipped me. Idiot. I laughed. The kind of laugh that comes from the gut after weeks of pretending to be fine. I met Nate years ago at a car expo. He now runs high-end concierge services, travel, luxury, even discreet arrangements for high-paying clients. He owed me one, and I cashed it in. I had him book Brooke and Chase's suite at the exact resort. Not a duplicate. The same room. I made sure it was rigged, 3 hidden cameras and audio. Totally legal. Totally clear. While Brooke posted fake smiles on Instagram, I was in my Texas garage watching her wrap her legs around her ex, watching her giggle, whisper his name, slide out of her sundress. I did not flinch. I did not pause. I watched like a surgeon looking at something that had to be removed. When she called me the next morning, cheerful like nothing happened, I did not pick up. Her texts came in one after another. Hey babe, just landed. Hotel is amazing. Are you okay? Haven't heard from you. Tyler. I stayed quiet. I was too busy forwarding video files to my lawyer. That was phase 1. Phase 2? Even better. See, Brooke forgot what her signature meant on a joint investment account. Forgot her credit card was linked to a business I bankrolled. She forgot that I handle the money. So I pulled my share. Froze the joint card. Changed every password. Then I booked a one-way trip to a cabin in Colorado. No cell service. Just snow, whiskey, and peace. That night, Nate texted me again. She just found out. Screaming at the concierge. Chase caught the first flight home. I smiled. She always thought she could juggle both sides, lie with a straight face and manipulate her way out. But not this time. Not with everything saved in a cloud folder labeled Brooke's Real Vacation. When she got back, the house locks were changed. A box with her basics sat on the porch: toothbrush, essentials, and right on top, that red bikini, folded neat next to a flash drive. She blew up my phone for hours. Apologies, curses, begging, yelling. But I was not mad anymore. I was calm, because I finally saw her clearly. She wasn't just selfish. She wasn't just disloyal. She was dangerous. And now, she was out of my life. Almost. There was one more thing she never saw coming: the final move. One last checkmate. She came by the shop 2 days later. Tight jeans. Mascara trails. Trying to turn it on like she always did. "Tyler, we need to talk." I kept working. Wiped grease off my hands. Stayed quiet. "I made a mistake," she said, voice breaking just enough to seem real. "I did not mean for it to happen." "Stop," I said. Calm. Firm. "You meant every word," I told her. "I saw it. I heard it. You were not confused. You just got caught." She tried to spin it again, but she could see it in my eyes. I was done. She stepped closer. "We can fix this." And I just looked at her. "Please," she said, eyes wide with tears that looked more like strategy than sadness. "I know I screwed up, but I still love you." Love. That word hit my ears like a slap, bitter and hollow. Love? She told that guy she still loved him. Said she missed his hands, said she thought about him while lying next to me. And now she wanted to talk about love? I let out a rough laugh. It wasn't warm. She started crying, harder this time. But those tears weren't for me. They were for herself. For what she lost. "It didn't mean anything," she sobbed. "It was a mistake." I walked right past her, into the office, pulled open a drawer, and grabbed the manila folder that had been sitting there for a while now. I handed it to her. "Divorce papers. Already signed. You do not buy plane tickets by accident, Brooke. You do not just happen to pack lingerie and reserve a luxury suite. You planned every inch of this. And now? Now you can live with it." She looked down at those pages like she could not read English anymore. "You're just throwing away 6 years?" she gasped. "No," I said, staring straight through her. "You threw them away the second you boarded that flight. I'm just here taking out the trash." That was when the mask cracked. Her fake sweetness disappeared. She clenched her jaw and tried one more angle, her last card. "You really think he wants me?" she hissed. "He left. He didn't even stay the weekend. You think you won? You're pathetic. You ruined my life." I stepped forward just enough for her to hear me clear as day. "No, Brooke. You did that all by yourself. I just made sure the ending matched the choices you made." She stormed out. The silence she left behind? It was the best sound I had heard in months. I didn't go out celebrating. I didn't call up friends. I just sat there in my office, staring at the spot where she stood, staring at that signature on the papers. My hand had signed it. My heart was still catching up. That night, I sat on the back porch with a bottle of bourbon. The Texas sky looked like fire and water, orange fading into blue, stars sneaking out. I watched the sun disappear while my thoughts kept flashing to old memories. Our wedding. Her laugh. That first crappy apartment where we sat on pillows because we didn't own a couch. We used to dance barefoot on the kitchen tile. I used to love that girl. I wanted to hate her, and part of me did. But real pain does not come out clean like that. It lingers. It leaks. It leaves you feeling hollow, not furious. Numb. But one thing I knew for sure. I would never let anyone cut me open like that again. And I was not done building yet. There was still something waiting in the garage. Something that had been sitting under a tarp, untouched, collecting dust for months. That car became my focus, a 1967 Mustang, a project I had started before everything fell apart. So I got up early every morning, poured my coffee, rolled up my sleeves, and worked. New pistons, fresh belts, rewired the ignition. I scraped off rust and sanded down regret. Every dent in that frame felt personal. Every part one replaced gave me back a little more of myself. I barely talked to anyone. Nate checked in. My sister left voicemails. I let them sit. I was fixing more than a car. Then about a week after the divorce papers went through, I saw her again, not in person. On my phone. Instagram. A buddy sent it to me with a message. "You seen this?" I almost ignored it. Curiosity got the better of me. There she was. At some lounge downtown, dressed like she belonged in a music video. Same red bikini top under a sheer blouse. Same curl in her hair. Same fake laughter, wrapped around some guy who wasn't Chase. Wasn't me. Another one. She leaned into him like she needed something, a body to fill the space where real love used to be. His hand was already on her back, sliding low. Her eyes lit up, same way they used to with me. I watched. Not because I missed her. Because I needed to confirm what I already knew. She was a mirror. A shapeshifter. A void in high heels. And I felt nothing. No anger. No jealousy. Just that cold confirmation. This is who she is. This is who she's always been. I shut the phone off and went back to the garage. Next day, I took the Mustang out. Just me and the road. Wind in my face. Tires humming. That engine? Smooth. Alive. It felt good. Something real made by my own hands. When I stopped for gas, I caught my reflection in the window. I looked older. Tired. But something else, too clear. No more pretending. No more lies. No more coming home to a stranger in my bed. Back at the shop, I did something final. I logged into the cloud storage and deleted the video. All of it. Gone. I didn't need evidence anymore. Didn't need revenge. I had something better. Peace. A few nights later, Nate showed up with a six-pack. We sat on the porch. He cracked open a cold one and said, "Man, you look like someone just walked out of prison." I laughed. Feels like it. "So what now?" he asked. "You gonna dive into dating apps? Go full single guy?" I shook my head. "Not yet. I've still got work to do." "On the Mustang?" "On myself." He didn't laugh. He just nodded. Brooke texted again. A long one. Talked about regrets. Wanting to meet for coffee. I never replied. Some fires? You don't let smolder. You let them burn out completely. A month passed. Then another. I stopped counting days. I started counting changes. I woke up easier. Food started tasting like food again. Sleep came deeper. Funny how betrayal makes everything gray. But healing? It comes back in color. Clients started lining up. Word got around. They said the guy with the rebuilt Mustang could bring just about anything back to life. I understood that. I had lived it. One day, a woman named Rachel brought in her dad's Thunderbird. Asked if I could get it running like new. She had big brown eyes, a sharp smile, no ring. She brought coffee the next time. Asked questions. Laughed at my dry jokes. She wasn't flirting, not really. Just showing up. But I didn't chase it. Not yet. Later that night, I pulled down an old box I had tucked away, stuff Brooke never even knew I kept. Photos. Letters. A concert ticket. Our wedding invite. A picture of her asleep in my truck, feet on the dash, back when things still felt honest. I sat with it for a while. No tears. Just memory. Then I poured a little bourbon on the stack, took a match, and set it all on fire. Watched it curl and vanish. And in the flicker of that flame, I swear I heard something say, "You made it." The next morning, I sent my lawyer a message. Take her name off everything, business, property, whatever's left. 5 minutes later, he replied, "Already done." That was the last thread. Or so I thought. Because then I got a call from Chase. At first, I ignored it. Thought it was spam. But he left a message. "Tyler, I know I've got no right. But I need to talk. It's about Brooke. It's not what you think. Please. Just 5 minutes." I should have deleted it. But curiosity? It wins sometimes. I called him back. He picked up on the first ring. His voice sounded lower. He didn't talk like a man full of himself anymore. "I wasn't going to reach out," he said. "But you should know. She told me you were abusive." "What?" "Yeah. Said you used to scream. Break things. That she was scared of you. Said the trip was her escape plan." I sat in silence. Couldn't even move. "She's good, man," he added. "Real good." I believed it. Until she showed me who she really was. Controlling. Manipulative. Said the same things to me that I bet she said to you. He paused. I left after 2 days. Blocked her. I said nothing. Just hung up. And just like that, every doubt I had, every moment where I wondered if maybe I was too cold, too distant, gone. She hadn't just broken my heart. She tried to erase me. Rewrite the story. Turn me into the villain so she could play the victim. But that night I slept like a baby. I used to think I was broken. But now I knew the truth. I was finally free. About a week after all that mess, I was back under the hood of a 1972 Chevelle, hands covered in grease, same as always. Then Rachel pulled up again. This time, she brought 2 coffees, not just one. She did not ask what I wanted, just handed one over like we had done this 100 times before. You look less haunted today, she said, watching me wipe my hands with a rag. Thanks, I said, cracking the lid and taking a long sip. Turns out closure tastes a little like bourbon and motor oil. She laughed. Not that flirty kind you hear when someone wants something. It was real, like she meant it. We did not talk about Brooke. She never brought her up, and I never volunteered anything. There was something solid in that silence. A quiet respect. I like that. She did not try to fix me or poke around like I was some busted carburetor she could tinker with. She just let me be. But that night, I found myself replaying the call from Chase. His voice. His regret. But mostly, her lies. Brooke had not just cheated, she rewrote the whole damn story. Said I was abusive. Said I was dangerous. She took my loyalty, twisted it up, and turned it into a weapon. All to keep her own hands clean. That kind of betrayal, it sticks. I walked through the house, my house now, and really looked at it. Her coat was gone. No more hair ties clogging the sink. That overpriced vanilla candle she used to burn had finally given up. It did not feel lonely. It felt mine. Then something unexpected landed in the mailbox. Not an email. Not a text. An envelope. Handwritten. No return address. Inside was a note, her handwriting, no mistaking it. Do not throw this away. I just want you to know the truth. All of it. I nearly tossed it in the trash. Nearly. But I didn't. So I read it. I never meant to hurt you. It started. But the truth is, I never knew how to accept the kind of love you gave me. You were steady. I was chaos. I needed constant attention. The silence terrified me. I lied because it gave me control. I betrayed you because I thought it would make me feel powerful. It didn't. It made me feel small. I sat down, jaw tight. I told Chase lies about you, made you the villain, because I could not live with what I was doing. I needed someone to blame. I am sorry I made it you. That was it. Not a plea for forgiveness. Not some grand apology. Just truth. Late, but real. She ended it with, I know you will never forgive me, and you shouldn't. But you were the only man who ever loved me without asking for anything back. That is what I lost. The best thing I ever had. I folded the letter and slid it into a drawer, right next to my old Colt and my dad's military tags. It did not change a thing, but it closed the file. The next morning, I fired up the Mustang and took a ride. Windows down, engine humming like it had something to prove. The sun came up just as I passed Rachel's coffee shop. She was behind the counter. When she saw me, she smiled and waved. I pulled in without thinking. She slid a coffee across the counter before I even asked, What's the occasion? I shrugged. Just figured I'm done rebuilding the past. Time to build something new. She tilted her head, grinning. That's so? Yeah, I said, meaning every word. It's time. Days turned to weeks. Then months. The sting faded, layer by layer. Not all at once. Like peeling old paint off a barn. Some pieces come easy, others you gotta scrape for. But I stopped flinching. When a memory came, I let it come and go. No more jumping. Rachel and I started talking more. Not small talk, real stuff. Long talks. She had her own history, nothing dramatic, just the kind of scars we all carry. But she never led with them. She never let pain define her. That's what I admired. She grew from it. Not bitter, not guarded, just solid. One night we were sitting on my porch. Feet up, beers in hand, sun dipping low. She asked, You ever wonder what would have happened if Brooke hadn't gone on that trip? I stared up at the stars, thought about it a second. She'd still be lying to me, I said. I'd still be doubting myself. Still trying to fix someone who didn't want to be fixed. Rachel nodded. That's honest. I looked over. It's the only thing I've got left that matters. She reached for my hand. Held it like it was the most natural thing in the world. I didn't pull away. A few days later, I got a message from Brooke's sister, Lindsay. We were never close. She always seemed nervous around me, like she knew something but didn't have permission to say it. Her message was short. I just want you to know I always believed you. I'm sorry for what she put you through. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. But it hit different. Like maybe closure doesn't come in one big moment. Maybe it comes in drips. Little pieces from places you never expected. Business was booming. Word got around that the Mustang guy could fix anything that runs. I brought in another mechanic. The shop was alive again, tools clanking, music from the radio, oil on the floor. I would pull into the garage, hear someone cussing in the back about a busted rotor, and catch myself smiling. Not fake. Not forced. Just smiling. One day, while cleaning up the office, I found our wedding photo, me in black, her in that lace dress. We were smiling like we believed it. I turned it over. In her handwriting, "Forever starts here." I nearly laughed. Forever. I tore it in half. Not out of anger. Just finality. That night, I invited Rachel over for dinner. I grilled steaks. She brought a bottle of wine. We ate under the string lights out back and talked, not about the past, but about where we'd go if money and time didn't matter. She said Italy. I said Montana. She raised an eyebrow. Mountains over romance. I grinned. Mountains don't lie. She laughed. Not forced. Not flirtatious. Just happy. And in that moment, I felt something I had not felt in years, safe. Not waiting for the rug to be pulled. Not bracing for betrayal. Just steady. And that, right there, was the real revenge. Not the video. Not the bank freezes. Not watching Brooke unravel. No, the Real win was becoming untouchable. Living a life so peaceful, so true, that she could not reach me anymore. She lost the power to twist my heart. She gave me pain, and I used it to build something she could never fake. Peace, purpose, a clean slate, and maybe, just maybe, something real with someone who saw me for who I was, not just what I could offer. Exactly 1 year to the day since Brooke took that little romantic escape with her ex, I was standing at the edge of a cliff in Glacier National Park, Montana. That place I always said I'd go when I finally wanted to feel peace, and it gave me exactly that. Miles of pines reaching into the horizon. The kind of air that felt like it cleaned your soul just by breathing it in. No phone, no noise, no distractions, just the wind and sky and me. For the first time in a long while, I realized I'd made it, not just out of the marriage, but out of the storm, out of the old version of myself who used to think love meant fixing someone who didn't want to be fixed. There was a time, not too long ago, when I would have bent over backward to keep Brooke. Pleaded, bargained, given up parts of myself just to hold things together. But now, I wouldn't even unlock the door. Brooke taught me something I never wanted to learn. A lesson no man likes admitting. Real love isn't about saving someone else. It's about saving yourself when you realize they were never going to meet you halfway. Folks sometimes ask if I regret it. Marrying her, staying too long, wasting all that time. But I don't. Because that mess taught me to trust my gut. To spot a lie dressed up as a pretty smile. To rebuild something better from the wreckage. And if I had not gone through all that, I never would have found what actually matters. Now, I don't chase. I don't settle. And I sure as hell do not beg anyone to love me. I know my value. I do not just bring something to the table. I built the damn table. Rachel came with me to Montana. She drove half the way, talked through the rest. No drama. No performance. Just honesty. Just presence. She never tried to be the opposite of Brooke. She didn't need to. She just showed up as herself. And that was enough. One evening, as we sat watching the sky turn pink behind the mountains, she turned to me and asked, "What would you say to a man going through what you went through?" I looked at her, then at the fire we built between us, and I said, "Walk away the first time your gut tells you something's wrong. Don't waste your breath proving your worth to someone who's committed to not seeing it. And never confuse chaos for passion. That'll bleed you out slow and have you thanking it while it does." She did not say anything, just reached over and took my hand, held it like she meant it. And that was the moment I finally understood. It wasn't revenge that healed me. Not the video. Not the cut credit lines. Not even watching her little tower of lies collapse. No. What healed me was the moment I stopped bleeding for someone who wouldn't even offer a damn bandage. That choice, to walk away, to rebuild without bitterness, that saved me. These days, I sleep deep. I laugh loud. I live light. My ex-wife once told me she was going on a harmless trip with her ex-fiancé. I told her no. She went anyway. So I did what I had to, not out of rage, but out of resolve. Some people call it revenge, but I call it clarity. Because karma isn't about getting even. It is about watching someone lose access to everything they never deserved, especially you.